All right, Lions fans, we're going to do another video. This is going to be possibly a live reaction to the Atlanta Falcons versus the Lions game. And we're going to gauge it and see how we do. We are heading into the first quarter, the very start of the game. I guess we got a few commercials. It's time to pay some bills. So I believe the Lions have possession of the ball. I'm not sure. If so, the prediction would be the Lions is going to go. If they have the first possession, is either going to be 3 points or 7. But I'm going to lean towards 7. No. It's going to be either no points or 3 points. They may come out the gate kind of a little sluggish. It depends on who's going to hit first. If the Lions have the ball, they may get 3 points or no points. If they don't have the ball, the Falcons may get close to field goal range. And if they do, they're going to score a touchdown.
Same neighborhood here in Atlanta,
right.
And they've basically been inseparable in church basketball.
The Falcons has the ball first. I believe the Lions deferred.
This week, we'll talk more after this one. Todd Gurley in the backfield for Matt Ryan. And Gurley for a couple of yards short of the 20-yard line. Well, Matt Ryan named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Impressive numbers, 30 out of 40. 4 touchdown passes in that win, and making his 196th start. He's missed only 3 games in his impressive career. Former league MVP, who of course played in the Super Bowl. Trying to get things going in Atlanta, has to get rid of it. The pressure was on. The minute he faked, it was Romeo Okwara. Already has a couple of sacks this year for the Lions. Well, this offensive line, part of 15 first-round draft picks on this Atlanta team, and actually in the last 2.5 years, that has equaled only 15 wins.
Not a surprise to see Hurst try to get involved early. There'd be a lot of attention with the young secondary of the Lions for Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. The X factor may just be Hurst today.
And Julio Jones told us off that hamstring. He's 100% today. Looked good last week. Brian Hill is in at running back. Ryan has time, and for the tight end, Hayden Hurst, who stumbles, but gets the first down up across the 30-yard line.
That's a good call right there, Brock. You said we should watch Hayden Hurst, and he gets the first reception of this afternoon.
And a nice job of staying in bounds. That is awfully close. You can see Patricia's watching it. A little bit of zone defense. Unfortunately, the Lion corner fell down. Gave Hurst the opportunity to get a third and extra long conversion.
It is National Tight Ends Day. I'm not making that up.
Who decided that?
Tight ends. That's Julio Jones in motion with Gurley in the backfield. Short of the 35-yard line. This Lions defense, last week it was against Jacksonville, but they had 12 hurries. That's more than the previous 4 weeks combined. And the rookie from Utah, John Pedicini, has played quite a bit up front, joining those guys. These are the players you'll see most of today on defense.
Absolutely. This D-line is going to have to get a lot of pressure as we see they're trying to play a lot of cover too. But this secondary, Brock, they're going to have to be on their P's and Q's if they have their hands full with this wide receiver team for the Atlanta Falcons.
Gurley carries, they'll bring a third down. Need to get to the 41 for a first down. Raheem Morris at age 44, close friend of Dan Quinn. Mike Tomlin, one of his mentors, going back through his Tampa days where he was a head coach for 3 seasons. And a 10-win season and just missed the playoffs. And we have an injured Falcon. It is Alex Mack, the center, who is an extension, really, of this offense, as Matt Ryan will tell you. And we hope he's okay.
I'm a Verizon engineer, and today we're turning on 5G across the country with a cover.
Richter, the rookie drafted in the 7th round for Syracuse, and he moves it out of there. Alley from the 18 of the Lions. Cuts back to go straight ahead. Knocked down short of the 25. Well, the old Georgia Bulldog, Matthew Stafford, born in Tampa, grew up in the Dallas area, went to school with Georgia, and has been a first overall pick for the Lions. But when they played through the years, they have not played here. And enjoying his trip back, he hopes, from the 24-yard line. Adrian Peterson is in the backfield. Up to the 31. Deion Jones making his out. On his offensive line, they used 8 different linemen last week. The amount of injury and wear and tear, but there was a ground game.
I want y'all to see like how this offensive line like responds to like Adrian Peterson versus like a rookie or a player maybe from a first year all the way up maybe to a few years in the league, but they really never established anything. I'm not talking about going to a Pro Bowl establishment, but more so respect around the league establishment.
Brady Jarrett up front. Players studying maybe after Aaron Donald, the best interior lineman in the league, and Takk McKinley out on the groin injury. Expect to see him go to the quickly to the line. Stafford. Pass is caught. TJ Hawkinson, the tight end, but short of the first down.
Go for it.
Isaac Nana, who is the backup tight end to Hawkinson.
Nice job there. Detroit tries to get Atlanta with a quick count. And you just try to out-leverage. When you come up, this is a college football move you see all the time on these third downs. You try to out-leverage and outflank the Falcons, but that's tremendous speed and killer tackle by Keanu Neal.
Jack Fox off to a great start after 5 games, leads the NFL in both gross and net running. Brandon Powell, one-time Lion. Fair catch, forward, gets it going. That is into the end zone for a touchdown. Matt really leaning on the run game the first time the Falcons got the ball. Their second opportunity, they score this first quarter.
This game appears to be whoever makes the first mistake will set the tone. Whoever makes the first mistake will set the tone. That don't mean that the opposing team won't be able to capitalize or be able to respond. But whoever makes the first mistake will set the tone. This is a slugfest for early on. They both went 3 and out, I suppose. You gotta love how this Patricia coach team responds. Like they're what I mean by responding. What I should rephrase that to say, like how they tackle. Like they're since let's say it. Since the Harmon and Collins and Danny Shelton came over here, their tackling has been a lot more aggressive versus just tackling. Now you may get a player that can get you 100 tackles, but it's not really impactful tackles where it's like y'all better look out for 55 type deal. So even to the corners, to the secondary, they're tackling like it just, can I say the word tenacious? They're very aggressive. And I don't think I ever seen a Lions team that tackles with aggression not just trying to tackle you or chip you, but they're really trying to really go through you when they tackle. They would say lower your shoulder and you wrap and tackle, right? So I see a lot of that more so than any other prior teams before. It's an attitude. They still haven't found the identity, and I believe they have turned the corner with the Jacksonville game, where the gelling of the positions or the players in their specific position is starting to gel to become a unit. But overall, as an identity, they haven't been labeled yet.
Second series, third down target. Russell Gage being helped over to the sideline. Brandon Powell comes in for him with Ryan Hill. On a 3rd and 10 for Matt Ryan from the Falcons 20. Ryan dumps it off. And Hill.
Now, you saw these Lions a week ago play very, very physical. Reggie Reitman actually on the tackle there, and you can see Gage just can't get that lower leg out of the way. This is our last week with these Lions, right? We watched them be more physical. They're winning early downs, allowing them to play zone. That was a well-timed little blitz with zone behind it. Big 3 not by this defense. A lot less man-to-man, more zone. You can do that when you're physical at the point of attack.
Yeah, I guess that was the word that I should have said was the team is more physical and than before than most other Lions coach teams. They are really more physical.
In Bulldog history. And what a game, his career best, given a greater opportunity and responded on the road at Jacksonville.
Should gain confidence, you would think, Chris, coming off of really a breakthrough game early in his career.
You know, they still say you're going with the 3 running back system with Kerryon Johnson, Peterson, and Swift. And open for a first down is Hockenson. Let's get a game break. Say hi to Carissa Thompson. Hey, Carissa.
Hello, Chris Myers.
This is going to be a run game along with the a lot of tight end action.
Packers and the Bears play the Rams. Monday night. After a ticket of 16 with the 35. Stafford going deep. Marvin Hall is well covered.
Raheem Morris did not hesitate when we asked him yesterday about his best cover guy, right?
Yeah, he said A.J. Terrell is his best cover guy. And that's speaking highly for a rookie to come in and play at a level where the coach is seeing a lot of guys on both sides of the ball, both offensively in the receiver room and defensively in the defensive back, to say that this young man, he has it.
First round draft pick from Clemson from the Atlanta.
These poor linebackers, they just get faded. They just can't help themselves. Watch linebacker here. Okay, this is 3rd and 9, and you've got to stay deep in your zone, and unfortunately, you fight up. So that's your nickelback. You fight up on that shallow cross, and you throw the in route right behind his ear.
Forgive me, I am actually eating popcorn, watching the game. So if you hear that excessive and obnoxious chewing, that will be me. I don't know if the average Lions fan really know what Adrian Peterson brings to this run game. I want to say single-handedly made the offensive line better, as well as DeAndre Swift incredibly better. It's like having your big brother with you. You're finna go to a fight. This is a Swift and Hockenson game. By the opposing team having to respect Adrian Peterson. Just on his reputation alone. It opens it up so much for DeAndre Swift. I don't know. Let me see. Is Bo Scarborough suited up? If he's suited up, and if he follows the lead of what Peterson is establishing, Kerryon Johnson is traded.
Talking about, Chris, these linebackers in this scheme, right? They've got to be the heartbeat and the energizers. You can see Luke on here, right? And he has just been adjusted.
By the Lions having a running game, it's proven that Matthew Stafford don't have to throw the ball. Like of years past, he could just throw it when it's necessary. Like you're in a goal line or you're in the red zone, you don't have to throw the ball. See, they're throwing the ball in the red zone when you don't have to throw the ball in the red zone. They're trying to make sure that Stafford eats. I don't know about that. They got a roughing the passer on Terrell.
You take this flag. If you're Raheem Morris, you accept this flag regardless.
Because I think that hit on Stafford is well deserved because he's holding on to the ball. He's holding on to the ball. It's not no, they're just trying to protect the quarterback, but no, that was a bad call. But anyway, Stafford is holding on to the ball. Now they're going to try to run it. You could have did that a long time ago.
Right, this is running at Grady Jarrett and handling him and just really.
One thing about the Lions running the ball, it really takes away Stafford being Stafford-esque. Stafford don't have to be Stafford. He can just be a game manager. But they're still trying to make sure that he gets his whatever. It's almost like the worst thing that ever happened to Stafford, of him being the Stafford of old, or where the Lions is dependent upon him to basically carry the team, is them establishing a run game. This is going to be interesting. The Lions is up 7-0, I believe. DeAndre Swift had, when they drafted him in the second round, he made Kerryon expendable. However, that wasn't going to be until something was proven that somebody to take his place. Let's say, for example, like if they, I believe they cut Christian Jones. If they did, they found the replacement on the team. You don't just cut a player or get rid of a player unless you have the replacement there, or the replacement is right there weighing in the balance. It's right there. And by them signing Adrian Peterson, that made Kerryon Johnson expendable. Because the hunger that you're going to get from a Bo Scarborough, as well as a DeAndre Swift with Adrian Peterson, that's going to be your three. And then if you want to bring in a running back that's going to basically follow suit of what they're already establishing, Kerryon Johnson is like a guy on his own island. You know, he he would put me in the mind of Jerry Stackhouse type. Has a wealth of talent, but some people believe that talent is enough to actually be the mouthpiece for you versus the actual action. He don't have enough game tape, let's say on a pro level, to basically consider to be, I don't want to say nonchalant, but not approaching it as DeAndre Swift is, hungry.
And Atlanta marches 71 yards. So that's his 4th rushing touchdown, his 5th overall, and he carried 4 times for 27 yards on the drive.
He's got a nose for the goal line. There's just some running backs that have that instinct down around the
DeAndre Swift is already the best running back since Barry Sanders. Already. Somebody said, what about Joy Bell? What about Reggie Bush? You're going to see.
His feet, and that's one of the keys in the launch. And then he does make helmet contact, even though he turns his head to the side. Could it have been the shoulder to the helmet? He is a defenseless player, so you can't hit him in the head or neck area, period. I know it's a tough one, but with the launch, I'm okay with that call.
Well, Mike, we're questioning the launch because one foot stayed on the ground the entire time, and it's Todd Gurley carrying.
Well, hold on, Mike. Let me ask you just when he becomes non-defensive. I put it in the pocket once he's
Matt, the reason why I say the team has turned the corner is less of thinking, and there's a lot of read and react type deal. And from read and react is going to become just basically the point of attack, where that's when they have really officially turned the corner. They would have established an identity when they can just have the opposing team to play off of them versus them playing off the opposing team. That's on all 3 phases. Pretty much, let's say the defensive side of the ball. The offensive side of the ball it doesn't have an identity either. But if you look at it, it's leaning towards a running attack, a running game, a power offense. Let's say it that way. The best thing the Lions could have did was put Okudah against the best. Oh well, not arguably. They probably didn't go into the game lining up with the first. Going against the number 1 receiver, but due through the fault of Trufant being hurt and so forth, and he had to automatically be lined up against the best receiver. I want to say that's the best thing that could have happened to Okudah, because there's no better experience than learning against that. And it's like his practice, so to speak. Like his first year is like practice.
The Lions already have the lead. They get the ball back, and Matthew Stafford has to add to that lead for Detroit.
Yeah, the Lions is like, they're not the Lions. Okudah this is like his first year of practice. And I'm not going to say since the COVID, whatever, that plays a factor. But I don't expect his first year to be as it would appear to be of his second year. He has to learn the nuances, and he has to actually learn himself. Not so much learning them, he's learning himself. And that's where I think a lot of practice, what the first season is considered practice for him. The second season is going to be that secondary is going to be lights out. You see what they're establishing a youthful core. They're establishing a youthful core, and with the secondary, look at that. That's youth with Harmon and Walker and Oruwariye and Okudah, and you bring a couple of vets in there, like Trufant, and maybe you go grab somebody else that wants to come over here. And you season at the secondary. The same thing with the linebacker core with the Lions. It's like as a youthful core. Jamie Collins is the right guy for that core group because they're asking him to grow as Patricia grows. The guys that they brought in here from New England, they are in a position to basically anchor that position group. They may haven't had to do it when it was with New England or any place else, but here they will be ready to lead that group, and I think that's well done. Well done by Bob Quinn and Patricia and so forth, and the whole regime establishing that. The Lions win this game, they'll be 3-3, right? So they'll be playing 500. They'll be at the 500 mark. You can see them be buyers at the close from this point to the deadline. And but if they lose this game, you can see them being sellers because this is like the game against the Kansas City Chiefs last year. It would determine if you make an investment move or do you basically scrap another, the piece, whatever, and so forth, or you go into the draft and you're trying to find that. But this is the game here to show you if they are ready to invest into this group or you got to tweak something else of this group.
In year number 4, this is go time. Struggled with the groin in and out, but he was the guy they drafted to replace Vic Beasley to be the difference maker, and he's got to turn it up.
Run game.
This was a great job by Keanu Neal not being blocked by a wide receiver.
The word I'm going to use is stout. I think the opposing team could look at what, no matter what, Matthew Stafford reminded me of a guy who dots the I's and cross the T's. But he's not the guy that if he doesn't, the opposing team respects it.
Many good things right there. Kerryon Johnson, awesome job in protection. Matthew Stafford pre-snap, smelling that blitz. Right, they call it unwinding at the line of scrimmage, making sure, watch Kerryon come across and do his job. This is his role on third downs. He picks up Grady Jarrett, and that's a play that Amendola and Stafford make 99 of 100 times, but that doesn't look it in.
Second punt for Jack Fox.
Stafford is not an easy guy to catch from because the ball it comes out in a way. It's almost like coming out of a left-hander, a quarterback. It comes out weird, so you got to get adjusted to that. That don't mean it's not catchable. It just comes out like a curveball. When Stafford was playing baseball, was he a pitcher, or was he just basically a utility guy?
Julio takes 2 and leaves the X factor open.
You can, and you talk about getting Ridley and Jones involved. Hayden is a huge part of that, but sometimes when a defense is telling you what they want you to do, which with playing number 2, they're saying, we want you to try to run the ball. Well, you can't always give the defense what they want. Just because they're playing a coverage that is trying to eliminate what you're going to do offensively in the pass game, you have to insert yourself into this ball.
After a pickup of 16, quick pass. Moving up is Julio Jones, just short of the 35-yard line on second Gage with Jen Hale.
Chris, you mentioned Gage made his way to the locker room. The good news is he did it on his own power. The bad news is it was a very ginger limp. Clearly, he was frustrated punching.
All right, the Lions is up 7-zip. We still in the first quarter, and the Falcons has the ball, and I believe is 2-2.
You could see Ridley there say to Matt, front shoulder. Okay, that's a little slant route. I get inside, and your job is to put that ball in front of me, not on my back shoulder.
Yeah, but that's a play. Really, he has to make that catch.
Yeah, you're a first-round pick. You're Calvin Ridley. Now, he is bothered by a little bit of an elbow, or he has been, Ridley.
Listen, I'm going to tell you what, you're out on that field, no one cares about what's bothering you, what's hindering you, what possibly can prohibit you. All they care about is do your job.
He was throwing the red flag. He thinks that Hayden found his way in.
Well, it was deflected. Hurst followed the ball bouncing, but did it hit the ground? That's a kick. So no ground. There's a second kick. That's Jeff Okudah.
That looks like the Rice field goal attempt.
Where does Hurst come into the picture here?
They were ruling on the previous play. An incomplete pass is being challenged by Atlanta and will be reviewed.
It's tough from that angle to see if he cleanly scooped it, but so far it had not hit the ground.
It did not hit the ground. I thought it hit the ground, but great.
Well, as the officials do the replay, and they resolving that matter, but it's not really good. This is not really a fireworks game. This is a pressure game for both teams. Nobody's playing really loose. They're trying to play mistake-free football. Well, I imagine that every game should be that way, but when your team is like on the cusp of actually doing something, such as for the Lions is getting back to 500, and for the opposing team is not to, the interim coach don't want to, have a bad note. They won last week, so they want to win again, and so it's a fill-out game. But whoever, like what was said earlier, whoever makes the first mistake was going to set the tone for the game. This is typically the Lions' past. If they haven't progressed, they will be the team to make the mistake first. Either you're talking about where they get the first down and somebody get a holding penalty on the offensive line.
Was the two-point conversion good last night? Indiana,
I haven't made up my mind yet.
You have to be a little quicker than that. But thanks, Mike. And they're taking their time on this based on. We showed you all the views.
After reviewing the play, the ball did not hit the ground. Therefore, it is a completed pass. First down, Atlanta.
Our referee, by the way, is Landon Clark. Third season as an NFL official, first as a referee. So it spots the ball at the 42, and a first down Atlanta.
good little challenge, and this is also the zone. Maybe after a little layoff like that, this is where coordinators between the 40s, I say it all the time, but this is go zone. If you got something that you like play action-wise, try to take a shot to Ridley or Julio Jones. That's what we feel they like to do it.
Yeah, who's the rookie Jeff Okudah lined up against?
Julio.
Deep safety standing 20 yards downfield. Matt Ryan has time. He's going the other way. And open. For Calvin Ridley.
Greg, not a go route, but not a back shoulder point either.
Yeah, this is an in-between play. And I kind of put this on, again, Calvin Ridley again. You see him look at the play and where
It's interesting how
Amani Oruwariye is.
a first, you know, like I said, first year, but
Exactly when he's going to get hit.
a highly
You can't concern yourself with that. You just got to go get the ball.
praised rookie that comes in, and I guess from the collegiate level, they were showing their dominance on that level. So they have to. If you get a player that's humble, if you get a player that's humble, that's highly, you know, highly praised and all that good stuff, you know, you'll find yourself a good established player. I think that's what you get in Jeff Okudah. That's why I think that he was the pick for them. He to coming to a team like this, you don't need a guy that coming in with a high chip on his shoulder. You don't need nobody coming in who's going to be pretty arrogant. What they did. Let's say, for example, if you had Deion Sanders, Barry Sanders, and who else was it? I think Derek Thomas was part of that draft. And when the Lions was picking, I believe 3. When they was picking during that time, because I think Aikman went number 1, I think, and I think the offensive lineman went to Green Bay at number 2, and I think Barry Sanders went number 3. If you have Derek Thomas, was it Derek Thomas? Derek Thomas, Barry Sanders, Deion Sanders. I think those were the 3 at that time. When you have those, you got to go with a guy like Barry Sanders, because getting a guy like Deion Sanders to your team this city is not ready for that. No, that's not ready, but this city is not made for that type of a personality. It will clash. So I said the same thing for Jeff Okudah versus like a Isaiah Simmons or a Derek Brown or whoever else that you could have gotten. You need somebody who's balanced, so to speak. They know how to switch it, like know when to be, you know, the guy and when not to be the guy. Versus all you know, coming in with that, you know, that type of flair that, you know, you got to do it this. I'm going to do it this way. If you got something established like in your quarterback and your defense, or you got your coach that's a defensive, you know, guy, and he's trying to set a tone, you need somebody who's going to buy in and fit. And Okudah is that guy, I believe, versus the drafting Isaiah Simmons and so forth. But I understand why a person may want Isaiah Simmons, who's pure talent. I get that. And they basically want him in spite of the coach. But I'm looking at it as the coach is not going anywhere. All right, here we are. Second quarter. 3rd and 1. Did they get the first? It's marked as 4th down. So I don't think they got it.
New Orleans, Atlanta. 4th down. Tampa Bay are going for it. Needy yard. Trying to throw for it wide open. Hayden Hurst has the 1st down. He was your guy in motion. And the Falcons keep control of the football.
Well, he's my guy pregame too, and that is now his 4th reception. And Matt Patricia said, you know what, this guy, we've got to count for him. It's not just Julio and Ridley and Todd Gurley. And Matt's doing a good job. That is a bust somewhere. That is either a bust at the 2nd level, a safety doesn't come down on 4th and 1. You should never be that wide open.
He had 4 catches last week against the Vikings, a walk-on for football in South Carolina. Had a couple of seasons as a
I guess we can call that mistake assignment duty. Somebody missed their assignment.
Lion should have let this ball go a lot sooner than what he did. But great catch, great awareness to get your feet down. Now, really, that's what we want to see.
Just over the reach of Jaron Curse. And a nice grab by Ridley.
All right, that's another guy I forgot to mention, Jaron Curse
Catch of this game.
in the Lions secondary.
Makes it early. For the end zone and Hurst. The one-handed grab. There's a flag down around the 13-yard line.
That's going to be a hold against Detroit on Hurst. And this shows you why you don't necessarily have to run it effectively for yards, because the Falcons have it. But this is 3 straight snaps of some play action against Matt Patricia that have been very, very effective.
Holding. Defense number 42. 5-yard penalty. An automatic first down.
That was Jaron Curse. The ball just over his fingertips on the previous play. That's a difficult matchup against one of the fastest tight ends you're going to find. That's an obvious one. May have saved a touchdown, frankly.
I didn't see where the penalty was made, where the penalty was made. Nice containment. We are looking at 2nd and 10.
Job on setting that edge, and if he is bouncing, he's gaining so much ground that he can't get upfield before the pursuit finds him.
Really, 6 carries, 10 yards.
I'm going to say the Lions I'm going to say the Lions run game. I mean, not run game. They yeah, I'm going to say the Lions run defense is actually turning the corner too. It's like their players are a little bit more attentive towards detail. They're not just staying at gaps, but they're setting the edge, and you just see it. There's like, I guess it was up the gut. They was getting hit a lot. But when you don't have to do your job and somebody else's job, I guess it makes it a little bit more simpler. Excuse me. Players are getting more familiar. That bye week is going to do wonders. I mean, even though it was early, but it was a necessary early for the Lions. We're looking at 3rd down, 3rd and 9. It's either field goal or 6 points. For Atlanta. Yeah.
First rounder from Ohio State was back there, slow getting up.
Gosh, you just got to trust that boundary. He does a lot of things well, but doesn't trust the boundary.
Defense number 30. Ball deflected to spot a foul with an automatic.
That's a bad call.
Former Buckeye knows man-to-man coverage. He's done it very, very well.
73 is reported.
But it's this right there. He was okay early.
Tiggy tag, man.
Field judge there throws the flag on that last contact there. He's already squeezed Ridley to the boundary, and he's just got to trust that and not shove him.
First and goal, extra lineman in.
It was that's a rookie mistake. He wasn't aware of the ball, but that ball was overthrown.
That is a great job defensively to cover anytime you have a play that extends. And you see, I think that's Tracy Walker there on the coverage. He's able to come back. Anytime a receiver's in the back of the end zone and they stop and they come back, that's a hard play to cover. And he did that better than a lot of guys.
Denied. Denied. Is that Deshaun Hand? Yeah, the Lions, if they win this game, they're going to make a move to shore up that defensive line / linebacker core. They're going to make a move. If they win this game, yeah, they'll be buyers. Good run. Good run. Good run. The penalty caused a touchdown, but that was 3 and out. I mean, that was a field goal.
Nothing fancy here. You're just going to say, my O-line has to be better than your defensive line. And my running back has to get the ball across the goal line. And the Atlanta Falcons and Todd Gurley did that on this play.
A couple big red zone penalties, right, on both defenses. Really set up those touchdowns and those big third down conversions.
Good football. Tie game. I believe the second quarter. Did the Lions get the ball first? I think the Falcons got the ball first, so I think the Lions get at the half. Lions gonna come down and score. So we're gonna see.
Next weekend starts Saturday. Strong, big news Saturday.
I believe Jamal Agnew lost a step.
18th ranked Michigan. They take on Michigan State. They call great rivalries. It all starts with a big new kickoff.
On a kickoff return thing.
Not one Lion is either a Spartan or a Wolverine. Hard to figure as close as Ann Arbor, East Lansing are. Not one. There's 4 players on that Lions team.
Adrian Peterson is back in at running back. Fake to him. Stafford throws. What a catch of the crowd between a couple of Falcons. It's Kenny Galladay's first of the day.
This is what he does really, really well. He uses his body to get leverage on this defender on Sheffield, and he just boxes him out. He just turns his body to the quarterback. He knows he's going to absorb this hit. And when you have a big body like Kenny Galladay, it makes life so much easier for your quarterback.
And 6'4" and 215 is a big enough body. They'll pick up a 13 and a first down. And Adrian Peterson tries to get going and works his way all the way up across the 40-yard line.
That didn't look like much, but that's what Atlanta's gotten on the ground all day thus far. 8 yards. That is staying on schedule. And if you just look at the game within the game right now, Atlanta 13-play drive, a lot of it through the air. Detroit able to have a little bit more balance. And Galladay, a nice first down reception. That's an excellent first down run. And once again, you get kind of that target shot zone play.
Peterson will not get the first down. A couple yards short. Yeah, they usually use Kerryon Johnson as the third down back, receiver, pass protector. They open and close with AP all day, as he likes to be called. And then there's Smith, the rookie, who in between kind of does what he does. We've seen an example of that in the opening quarter.
And go down the backfield, so 3rd and 3. You may look for him. You're going to see him split out here. Very adept at catching the ball as well.
Agnew down, back inside the 30, where Stafford let the ball go.
Same little pick concept.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 57. A 15-yard penalty. We ended the end of the play. A first down.
You're going to see the little pick concept here, Greg. You talked about it earlier, why Calvin was called and why in this occasion Galladay is not, because he doesn't force the contact.
And Deion Jones has to do a better job of going over that. He chooses to go underneath. He has no chance to catch up to the faster Danny Amendola.
He picked up 36 yards. Now the official said number 57. I believe he meant 97. Grady Jarrett, but even on that replay, that didn't look like it was a late hit, but maybe that's the center left tackle. The step rule. And in the backfield, Swift, direct step, run out of bounds. Let's go back. We should show that again because these calls against the Atlanta defense are changing the game.
Yep. And you know Raheem wants these guys to be relentless and to play hard. Now, that's a couple steps after, and we saw it last week in Jacksonville. I know you don't like it, but there's no reason. You don't have to do that if you're Brady.
Yeah, when you're that heavy and you're moving in one direction.
He's nimble enough to cut it off.
Was that an acting job for Stafford?
I actually don't think it was an acting job. Brady Jarrett is a big man.
We established that. 300 pounds. Swift the running back. Lions on the move. After a loss of 3, Stafford open inside the 14, Swift, and it'll be third down. Let's get Mike Pereira, who's busy. Give you something to do today, Mike. What do you think? Is it that
You're my guy. Listen, remember, what's the penalty? Roughing the passer.
To me, that's more. I got to tell you, I like the love tap category.
Thank you.
I just don't think that's roughing.
Good. All right, see, I like that. A clear, concise explanation that we can all understand. And there is another look at it. Thank you, Mike. Rock Hewitt, Greg Jennings, Chris Myers, and Mike Pereira. On a 3rd and 11, chance for the Falcon defense.
Stafford becoming a savvy vet. I think he sold that roughing the passer penalty.
You're going. Well, you said it earlier. You're 1-5 Falcons team. What do you have to lose? And yes, this could get you to 3-3. But I like this aggressiveness. And if anything, as active as Atlanta's been, try to hurt count too. You've always got that tool first. And then if you don't get it, you can burn a timeout.
I'll go for it. I'll go for it on 4th and 1. You in the red zone? If you got to turn the ball over in possession, the defense is playing pretty good. Ooh, denied. You can't claim. You can't claim.
After the play was over, and they're huddling. Does this mean we have to go to Mike Pereira again? It's a 4-man move. That was boy, talk about getting excited about defensive play. Of course, Peterson can handle it.
Yes, he can. And for the young rookie, Walker coming off the edge, I wonder if this was helmet off in the end zone.
Knowing Peterson, he want to do that play again. He want to go after that guy.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 56.
Wow.
Pass it into the goal. First down, Atlanta.
Hesitation. Okay, another look For the Falcons, bad news is it's a penalty. Doesn't back them up all that much. What a hit. Lions go on fourth and
He came clean. He didn't get chipped. The edge didn't get chipped. Somebody blew their assignment. We're going to go ahead and conclude this video for this. I kind of lost his interest. Lions get the W, though. All right. All right, Lions fans. Salute.